What's up, everybody? Sorry it's been such a long time here. It's episode 25 of the Where's My Hat podcast. I am Branden Eifrid, aka EQwip, and usually I'm just kind of like in the background, the editor of the podcast, but we didn't have any guests lined up, and this week I thought I could explain to you guys that have been longtime listeners or anybody who's interested just exactly what's going on with the pod lately. As you may have seen, Kay Banks has broke up with Stacy, or rather Stacy broke up with Kristen. And then it came out that I was still sleeping with Kristen while they were together, and then basically led to Stacy. To her credit, she tried to stay on the podcast and just be friends and work everything out, but she has left for now, at least. I mean, if she ever wants to come back, that's fine. I mean, we're here. She was a big part in starting this. They came to me about it back, it's already like 7 months ago, back in last September 2022. They came to me with the idea to do this podcast, and that was when like Kay had only been doing comedy for like maybe a couple months at that time, I think. She still has, it's been less than a year since she started doing it here in Fort Wayne, just open micing and doing the damn thing. And she met Stacy, and me and her, you know, it's been 5 years of being together. We have a child together, Dean, my son, my only son. And, you know, that was a whole thing too. I'll get into that later. But so things with us have always been a little rocky, but me and Kay live together, and we're doing our best, you know, and we have a decent little place. You know, Dean has his own room. We're taking care of him together, co-parenting, doing it. So anyway, I was just kind of in a place where I know like we fought a little bit, but we kind of just made it work. And I guess Kay wasn't feeling like fulfilled anymore in the relationship with me and her. And anyway, so as she was doing stand-up, she met Stacy Stark, very funny stand-up here in Fort Wayne, as you may have already known if you've seen her Instagram or any of her videos and stuff, or seen her out there in the wild, I guess. So anyway, Stacy and Kay came to me with this idea, and at the time I thought they were just friends, and so I agreed to do it because I knew like my background is kind of in audio, and like I've been playing piano since I was a child. I know other instruments, guitar, drums, bass, but I've also have quite a bit of experience with like, you know, DAWs, like digital audio workstations is what that stands for, or like Pro Tools, Ableton Live, that kind of thing. And I'm going to school for that currently, and I'm hoping to graduate here in about a year or so if I play my cards right. Anyway, so I was like, yeah, I know I can help and at least make it sound good, and I'm, you know, pretty computer savvy, so getting the hosting set up so that we could put this podcast out there, like they came to me with and asked for help, and I wanted to help. I've never done a podcast before. I thought this would be kind of fun, and it is. Don't get me wrong, I'm having fun, but so anyway, I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll do it, you know. And then the second episode, it was the first one with Joey Hain, or is it Hine? I always fuck up his last name, but that guy, he's hilarious. Anyways, so on that episode, like Stacy, they had been drinking, you know, and she came up to me and was like, hey, you know, me and Kristen are like a thing, right? And I kind of like didn't know what to think. I sort of didn't react because I felt like, I don't know, I was kind of blindsided by it, but then on one hand, I was like happy because, you know, maybe that's, if she's going to be happier, then that's good, and that's what I want for her. But anyway, so they'd been dating, but even while they were dating, we're still living together and have a child together. And so, like, after being with someone for that, like, a long time, it's kind of, I don't know, I guess we still, occasionally slept together and did stuff like that. And yeah, not for a long time. Like, I guess Kristen was exclusive to Stacy for a long time, and then she tried to break up with Stacy kind of towards like a few months into this, and then Stacy, I guess, talked her out of it, or I don't know what happened exactly there. I wasn't there, but the point is, they ended up staying together, and then at the end, Kristen was kind of blindsided with the news when Stacy wanted to break up with her. So, yeah. Anyway, that was. Sorry if this is kind of all over the place. I'm not used to doing this by myself, or trying to anyway. I just wanted to give you guys kind of an update as to like how, like, what's going down exactly. But so, anyway, after they broke up, they tried to still do the podcast. It turned into a lot of like just back and forth between the two of them, and then Kristen kind of dropped the bomb that like. As like kind of like, I think, a fuck you, like, oh yeah, you're gonna break up with me? Well, me and Brandon slept together. And then that made Stacy not want to talk to her anymore, which in turn, like, really, Kristen did actually like have feelings for her, and I don't know, she seemed hurt by it, and now she's like, she feels like everyone in the Fort Wayne comedy scene like hates her because they're all really close friends with Stacy, and she's been doing it a lot longer. So now it's like she feels like every time she goes to do a stand-up at like Summit City in Fort Wayne, she's like, she thinks there's a secret society out to get her, I guess. I don't even know, but I don't know if it's even like that really. All I know is, like, I guess I'm just trying to say all this because I want to keep this podcast going. We might change some little things, but I want to just kind of keep it mostly raw and just talk about, whatever we want to talk about. I have a few guests lined up here for the future, but that's why there's been, well, I guess this is the second time we did a 2-week break. And, I just wanted to kind of give everyone the scoop of what's going on. And Stacy, if you listen to this, like, we love you. I'm sorry if there's any hard feelings. But yeah, like, from my point of view, the whole thing, like, when it happened, I was like, oh, she's trying to mess up, like, the co-parenting that we have going on, because Kristen started spending lots of time away, and then I started to feel like I'm doing all this stuff and trying to help out at the house and like clean up and, provide for everyone, or at least, my part. I don't, like, we split rent and we split the bills and stuff, but I started to feel like she was gone more and more and more just for like, and hanging out with Stacy and like going out and like, just having a good time all the time. And I'm like, back here, like, I'm just supposed to be okay with that while, we're living together and like supposedly being Dean's mom and dad at the same time. So I don't know. It was all kind of confusing for us, or for me at least. But I don't know. I think a lot of good things come out of situations like this too, And yeah, I guess things are still good. I mean, like, most of the time we get along pretty well, and I think she's like great. Kay, that is. And Stacy too. She's like really cool to have around, and like, I don't really have any hard feelings. I don't know. I feel like she does against me for sure, but like, I don't know. I mean, what do you expect? When you're with someone for that long and live with them and you have a kid together, like, I don't know, it's kind of hard to break that. Or I felt like she was getting in between that, so I was like, I felt good that Kristen even wanted to sleep with me at that point. I was like, oh, hell yeah. Let's go. But anyway, maybe this is getting too weird. I don't know. But I just kind of wanted to like get some of this off my chest and just kind of get it out there for you guys, because I feel like anyone who's been listening to this podcast from the beginning, you're awesome. And thank you, you know? Like, I wasn't sure what to expect view-wise and stuff, and it's been pretty consistent and pretty, like, certain episodes have really blown up, so I really want to thank everybody. And, yeah, that's pretty much mostly what I've got. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not innocent either. I slept with one of our podcast guests, which was kind of encouraged by Stacy and Kristen, or Kay at the time. And I feel like, you know, like sometimes she's like, yeah, we're single, we're not together. Like, but then, you know, she'll get a little jealous if I'm around other girls, which is totally like understandable. I don't know. It's all a confusing situation, man. Life's crazy. Like the last couple of years, I do want to say have been pretty crazy, like for me at least as a individual. Like when I found out Kristen was pregnant, my drinking got even more out of hand than it already had been. And I was, you know, already just smoking and drinking like every day, smoking weed. And, like, I don't know, I got a DUI. This was like a couple years ago now, almost 2.5 years ago, almost. And I did this thing. It was actually my second one. So it was a felony in Indiana, like by default, I think. If your second one, it's a felony. So I went through this whole program to get rid of the felony. And at the end of this, like, it'll be dropped. But the bad thing is, you know, it costs a lot more money. And it's a kind of a rigorous program, I guess, you know, like meetings and drug tests. But I'm glad all this happened, and I've been sober for, you know, 2 years. I haven't tried to mess around at all on probation. I've really stuck to it, and that's been good for me. Just thinking clearly at least a little bit, and yeah, like with me and Kristen, like, I don't know, I'm to the point where it's like, you know, it is what it is. You know, we're parents. Like, I want what's best for Dean, even though like when I first found out about that, it really sent me spiraling, because she and I both thought that she was sterile, according to a doctor, I guess, that she had. Point is, wear a condom. But no, I'm just kidding. No, I mean, I'm not kidding, but for me, like, it ended up being like one of the best things that could happen to me. And I'm really, like, I love that guy. Dean is just the best. So couldn't have asked for a better son. He's so cool. And I'm always going to care about Kristen, even if we're not like a thing officially or whatever we are. I don't know. Some days she can be really just kind of like hostile towards me, I guess. Just kind of like not feeling me, which is totally understandable. And sometimes I'm the same way. So it's just one of those things, you know. I don't really expect anything out of it. But like for now, while I'm here, living here, helping, you know, we can both get along and work together because we're adults, and that's what adults do. And it feels good, you know. Like, I've got lots of good things happening. I'm in all these different musical projects, and I don't know, just I'm going to school and trying to get my degree, and it's pop music with like a recording focus. So we'll see, you know. This is what I like doing, is music. So just performing, playing, making stuff, writing things. But yeah, again, that's a lot of that's on my channel right now, but I'm working on putting some stuff on Spotify soon. So anyway, that's about all I got. Yeah. I love you guys. Give me a follow on Instagram at EQwip Music. Check out our merch store that I threw together on Etsy. I'm pretty proud of it. It's where'smystore.etsy.com. You can get like Where's My Hat podcast t-shirts and coffee mugs, and there's other non Where's My Hat like comedy related stuff. And yeah, thank you guys again. Appreciate the patience. Promise we're going to have guests on eventually. We'll do some stuff here. Just this week, I just wanted to at least throw something up there, and I will at least make it so anyone who gives a shit can know what's going on. All right. Peace, guys. Thanks.